I accidentally saw my best friend sitting on my husband's lap. Brian, your stupid wife didn't notice that I swapped our daughter with her, right? She dotes on our daughter every day. But where's my daughter and hers? Why don't you bring her with you? I've been torturing her for a month, and it's getting boring. You won't feel bad, right? My husband said coldly. Of course not, he replied. I only married Flora for her family's money. The kid she had isn't worth anything. Once our daughter inherits her fortune, I'll just kick her out. I wiped away my tears and pretended not to know. Dedicated myself to raise their daughter. It seemed like they thought I was particularly easy to deceive and never noticed anything unusual. Lauren was getting bolder and bolder. She used to secretly meet Brian while I was at the company. Now even when I was at home, she would find all sorts of excuses to come to the door. Although I knew in my heart that every time Lauren came to my house it was to see her daughter and Brian, but still, I did not refuse. Whenever she came to my house, I warmly welcomed her. Brian was very satisfied with this situation. Whenever he saw Lauren coming to our house, the corners of his mouth could not help but curl up. Sometimes he even took a glance and flirted with her in front of me, secretly sending off a flirtatious message. Even Briella was getting more and more intimate with her. Also, he bought a pair of home slippers for her so that she could come over at any time. This kind of life continued until Briella took the college entrance test. Seeing his daughter's ridiculously low college entrance test score, Brian pretended to be angry. How did you get such a low score on the test? Briella did not care. Anyway, our family has money. Why do I have to work so hard to study? Mom can just buy me a degree. Brian glanced at me vaguely. Seeing that I did not express my opinion, he continued. No matter how much your mommy loves you, she can't let you do this. It's not easy for her to manage the company alone. You have to fight for it. Otherwise, how can you help her share the burden in the future? How can you let her trust you to hand over the company to you? Briella also agreed. That's right, I'm mommy's only daughter. With so many companies under her name, how can she let me starve? Over the years, Briella had been spoiled by Lauren and Brian, becoming arrogant and domineering, with no knowledge or skills. With her level of ability, she did not even have the qualification to intern at my company. But I did not say it directly. Instead I said seriously, how can being a general manager be enough? She is my only daughter and she should take over everything from me. I have already planned everything. I will send Briella abroad for further studies first. When she returns from studying abroad, I will fully entrust the company to her. Hearing me say this, Lauren's eyes lit up instantly. Brian and his daughter nodded with great joy, their faces full of smiles. Looking at the three of them laughing proudly, I also laughed. They laughed at me for being too foolish, while I laughed at them for being too naive. During the process of applying for study abroad, I took Briella to the company every day. I taught her to familiarize herself with the company's business without reservation. 3 years later, Briella returned from studying abroad. The moment she saw her daughter, Lauren could not control her emotions. She rushed forward and hugged her daughter tightly in her arms with tears in her eyes. After the two of them expressed their longing for each other, Briella walked straight towards me and said straight to the point, Mom, I'm back. When will you let me take care of your company? Looking at her impatient expression, I gave a faint smile. Let's go. I've already held a press conference. Right now, I will entrust everything to you in front of everyone. The press conference venue was overcrowded. All the media reporters and celebrity businessmen gathered here, just to see the change of ownership of the business giant Renner Group. With all eyes on me, I announced that my daughter would take over my position as president of Renner Group, and under the witness of lawyers and interview cameras, the equity transfer agreement was signed. I transferred all of my assets and company